morning. We're on the train on the way to London. Well, we've arrived in London. We've checked into our hotel. We'll show you a little bit about that later. Right now we're here at Gloucester Station, the tube station, to head over to Leicester Square. I think there's a visitor center over there to pick up the 3-day London pass that we purchased. And we think we're going to do the hop-on, hop-off bus tour today, which is included in that. So we got off the hop-on, hop-off bus. We're at the Tower of London, and it's included with our London pass, so we're going to go in. I had no idea that this was so big. I guess I've only seen portions of it in documentaries and movies and stuff. I really didn't have any idea it was this huge. This is so cool. I am so excited to be here, of all places. I know it seems weird, but really excited.
Welcome to the Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London. My name's Kevin, I'm one of 37 of the royals here. I'm going to take you on a journey now through 900 years of history. So if I speak too fast at any time, you just listen quicker. Over there behind you, you'll see the outer wall. The outer wall was completed by the year 1280. It's got 6 towers. They all face south, and defending it to attack the comes up the river. Beyond that is the inner wall, completed by the year 1225. It's got 13 towers. The most famous is the Bloody Tower. I'll take you down it very shortly and tell you stories of murder. Do you like murder stories?
Yeah!
I like you. Here we are now at the most infamous gates in the world, Traitors' Gate, built on the orders of King Edward I, as he required a safer and more useful entry here into the tower. You see, rather than using the packed and narrow streets of London, where convoys could be attacked, stores stolen and prisoners set free, he decides he'll use the Thames as a highway. So he had a hole knocked in the outer defensive wall, so at high tide, boats could pass through the gates and unload the cargoes in safety. Now, during the Tudor period, all the alleged traitors came through here. People like Queen Anne Boleyn, Queen Catherine Howard, Lady Jane Grey, who was the uncrowned Queen of 9 days, and even the young Princess Elizabeth Tudor, later to become Queen Elizabeth I. They made the way through the gates by boat, landed at these very steps. They were met here by the yeoman jailer and their escort of yeoman warders, then led through the archway of the Bloody Tower, taken through to their dungeons or cells to await their fate, which for some was only a short journey to their place of execution. Now, behind you to the left is the Wakefield Tower. After the Battle of Wakefield, during the War of the Roses, over 200 Yorkist prisoners were forced into that lower chamber and left to die in appalling conditions. The upper chamber is where it's reported by tradition on the 21st of May 1471 that King Henry VI was stabbed to death whilst at prayer. He is known as the Monk King. They do say every now and again the ghost of a monk is seen walking through that area, if you believe in that kind of thing. You made your way through the archway now into the inner ward of the Tower of London. In front of you here stands William the Conqueror's Norman Keep. It's known as the Great White Tower, the largest of the 20 towers that make up the complex that people refer to as the Tower of London. But this is it. This is the tower. Work started here in the year 1078. It took 20 years to complete under the direction of Gundulf of Beck. He was the Bishop of Rochester. This tower, the first high-rise in the area, stands over 90 feet tall, with walls that taper in thickness from 15 feet at the bottom to 11 feet thick at the top. On top of the turrets, you'll find weather vanes. They display the royal standards. These tell us this is still a royal palace. However, it is no longer a royal residence, but all of their kings and queens lived here for well over 500 years. The last monarch to actually live inside the White Tower was James II in 1685, the night before his coronation. Now deep underground is where we kept the torture equipment. So people like Guy Fawkes and many others, they were taken down there, they were stretched in the rack to gain information. These days, we've made the area even scarier, because deep down underground is a gift shop. Over there to your right, in and out the cages, are some of the tower ravens. The ravens are the largest and most intelligent of the crow family. They were here before the tower was built, nesting in the trees, later on up in the turrets of the White Tower. Over the years, a legend or superstition that dates back the time of King Charles II, it decrees that if those ravens ever leave the tower, the White Tower will crumble to dust, the monarchy will fall. Well, these days, to make sure that does not happen, on the orders of King Charles II, we keep here 6 royal ravens. Now if you look down to your right, to the left of the arch, under the blue lamp, there you'll find the entranceway to my favourite place in the tower, the tower torch display. Down there you can find the rack, scavenger's daughter, the manacles. If you've never tried it before, get down there, have some fun. It's great stuff, it really is. The children love it, they come out taller. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are now in the grassed area. This is Tower Green, the village green of the tower. Our village green, of course, is rather special. On it, we have our own private execution site, where 6 people have been executed so far. We have space for a few more, I can assure you. Where did it take place? That grassed area down to your left is where they erected the scaffold. On the day of an execution, it was taken down again straight afterwards. Over there in the far corner, a perfectly preserved Tudor residence. It's called the Queen's House, because it is the Queen's House, and it was built in 1540 in the reign of King Henry VIII. Many important prisoners have been held there over the years. In 1542, Queen Catherine Howard, she was held there for adulterous affairs. 1554, Lady Jane Grey, the uncrowned Queen of 9 Days, she too was a prisoner of that building, and the youngest victim over here at the age of 16. Moving on a couple of centuries, we get to Rudolf Hess, the deputy leader of Nazi Germany. He became the last state prisoner of the tower in May of 1941. It's now the home of the constable. General Horton is the 160th constable of the tower, he lives there with his family. To the left of that, houses down there with the light blue doors. Some of my colleagues and their families, they live there. There are about 130 people that live in the tower at all times. There are 29 houses in the outer wall and there are 14 inside this area. And it breaks down as 6 officers of the tower and 37 beefeaters, all with their families. Moving to the right, the first house you come to is the residence of the tower doctor. Next door to him, if he gets it wrong, we put the chaplain. That makes good sense, doesn't it? Come on. Further right still, a long, large building. It's got the gold clock top centre. That is the Waterloo Barracks, now the home of the crown jewels and royal regalia. The entranceway for the jewel house is beneath the gold clock on the ground level.
We just finished the free 1-hour tour, and it was really good. Our guy was really...
Kevin was great.
He was really funny. We're over here in the line to see the crown jewels. It's quite a big line, but they say it's one of the must-sees when you're here, so we're going to wait and see it. We went to the crown jewels exhibit. If you come and you see a really long line, go ahead and get in line anyway. It doesn't take very long because it's constantly moving, and it's well worth seeing. It's worth the wait in the line. They didn't allow any photograph equipment in there, so wasn't able to take any film, but I would highly recommend that if you come to the Tower of London that you make that part of your visit. We just came out of the Tower of London. It was really, really interesting. One of the better tours that I've ever taken anywhere. Leave yourself half a day, because we were in there, what, 4 hours?
Yeah, easy.
About 4 hours. So leave yourself half a day to see it. There's a lot to see. We rushed through a couple of things, and I think we saw most everything, but we did rush through a couple of things. Definitely take the free tour that the Beefeaters give. It is well worth it, because you won't get half of that information any other way. And the one that we had was really funny. I don't know if all of them are funny, but he was extremely entertaining. So definitely do that. It's just inside the gate once you come in and through security, and you'll see signs pointing towards it, and that's a must do if you come to the tower.